Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to react to should there be age limits for US elected officials. Now, most of you guys, especially the guys that live in the USA, have probably seen the video now, the second video of Mitch McConnell, kind of like, I don't know how to describe it. He's like kind of glitching out or freezing or something like that. Like how old is this guy, by the way? Let me Google it. How old is Mitch McConnell? He's 81 years old. Like, I mean, mate, this is the second time now that it's almost like he just loses the ability to speak or something like that. It's like, mate, maybe just retire. Like maybe it's time to step down. And, I think Biden as well, there's a lot of question marks over him. Like, I'm from the UK. I don't really have a dog in the fight, whether it's right or left or whatever. But maybe, what do you guys think? Should there be age limits? Because, especially with Mitch McConnell, it doesn't look like he's physically up to the task anymore. Or what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments.
Republican presidential candidate Nikki Haley says there should be a competency test for aging U.S. leaders.
What I will say is right now the Senate is the most privileged nursing home in the country.
The most privileged nursing home.
Her comments come after this moment on Wednesday.
Like this man he is.
That is when 81-year-old Republican Senate leader Mitch McConnell froze again this week while speaking to reporters.
Mate, it's
U.S.
time
President
to retire.
Joe Biden has also faced questions about his age while he mounts a re-election bid. Should there be an age limit for elected officials? So for more on this, I'm joined now by political commentator and CEO of New Vision Media, Roland Martin. Mr. Martin, thanks so much for joining me. This is the second time now that we've seen Senator McConnell freeze. In the middle of a press conference, and it's very concerning. There are legitimate health concerns here. Should age limits be put in place for elected officials?
Absolutely not. I think health is a different issue compared to age. Take, for instance, you look at Congressman Jim Clyburn, he's 83 years old. Congresswoman Maxine Waters just turned 85. They are extremely vibrant, very much involved in politics, even doing better than people who are half their age. There are people who are in their 40s and 50s that have had health issues. So it's not a function of age.
It's a fair point.
It's a function of what are your capabilities.
It's in the Senate. Is there term limits? Is there a term limit, or are you, once you're in the Senate, are you in there for life? Like if it's the latter, there should probably be term limits.
And do you have the health stamina to do the job? This is the mistake I think a lot of people make when we focus solely on the issue of age. When it comes to Senator Mitch McConnell, he clearly has health issues. But we got to remember, historically, Senator Robert Byrd, Senator Strom Thurmond, these are individuals who've been extremely old. Frankly, they should have retired. But the reality is we're talking about power. And when you're those states, you want people who have seniority, who are delivering to your state. And so they'll overlook these health challenges as long as they are still delivering the bacon to their states.
But there's got to be people from those states who can still do that job. Are you telling me that these people, they're the only one in those entire states that can do the job adequately? Come on.
There's a new poll out on this topic. AP University of Chicago poll shows that 77% of Americans, including 69% of Democrats, say that Biden, who is 80 and will turn 81 in the fall, is too old to effectively serve another 4-year term as president. That compares with 51% who say the same of Trump at age 77. So what is the litmus test here?
Well, here's the problem with that. And I get it, because one, when you have the narrative that is set that, oh, look how slow he's moving and how he's reacting. Well, I would ask people this question. What has he accomplished? At the end of the day, when we talk about serving effectively, what have you gotten done? And if you had to compare the first 4 years of President Joe Biden, the first 3 years, he's going to his 4th year, to the first 3 years of President Barack Obama, much younger, I would say arguably, Biden has achieved more. Now, obviously, the Affordable Care Act was a huge achievement.
Right.
But the bottom line here is, what have you gotten done?
But
that's the real issue.
Yeah, but Mr. Martin, when you see the current president stumbling on the stairs going up to Air Force One and stumbling over words sometimes, don't Americans have a legitimate concern here about his fitness to be running in this?
Very interesting point. You know, at the end of the day, your track record does count. You know, if you've managed to be successful in a lot of the things you've claimed you're going to do, your pledges, you know, that is definitely a feather in your cap for sure. You know, but on the flip side, you know, having a leader that is visibly frail, you know, maybe in some other countries, it doesn't project America, you know, as a strong or as strong as it was, perhaps. You know, like some people won't care, but I'm sure there's others that do. It's a really difficult one, this one.
Next election cycle here, and also whether or not he'll make it through this next term if he is elected again.
I recall Saturday Night Live having an ongoing skit, Chevy Chase playing Gerald Ford, who often tripped on stairs. So, and Gerald Ford was a lot young. That's one. And again, this whole concern of, well, will someone get through? First of all, nobody is guaranteed a day, an hour, or a second. When God calls us home, that's it.
This is true.
And we've seen younger politicians who passed away in office. But here's the other deal. Senator Chuck Grassley, who's right now representing Iowa, he's almost 90, Dianne Feinstein. So if you look at the numbers, you say, okay, wait a minute, there are people who right now...
But isn't there a point where you should maybe let a younger generation, you know, have a shot? Like a 90-year-old is still in office? I mean, if he's still fit and able, I guess, and if he's voted in democratically, then, you know, I guess it's fine. But 90, it's pretty old, isn't it?
Or in the United States Senate who are older than Joe Biden, who is still serving in office. So I would say to any American, you should be looking at what has the person done in order to determine whether or not they should get another term. But here's the other deal. He was old when he ran the first time. So for anybody who voted for Joe Biden, ask yourself the question, did you not think he was going to get older? If you voted for him the first time, you should have known.
Well, I mean,
but it's not the age, though. It's the fact that, you know, that he's stumbling and stuff that I guess that people are concerned about.
Some of those people may have
run for a second term.
Maybe some of those people thought that, you know, his VP, Kamala Harris, would be the nominee and be running. Nikki Haley recently said to Fox News.
No. Anybody, here's a fact. Here's a factoid. The last president to choose not to run for a second term was President Lyndon Baines Johnson in 1968. No, when you run for president, you're running for 2 terms, not 1.
Nikki Haley recently said this to Fox News. The Senate is the most privileged nursing home in the country. I want you to comment on that. And also tell me about the flip side of this, because I was recently reading an article that said, why are so many politicians so swole? You know, you've got the Miami mayor working out. You've got RFK working out without his shirt on. Is that also a factor here in people looking at the vitality in order?
That's kind of irrelevant, you know. Somebody going to the gym, like, how's that even? It's not important.
As a metric when they are at the ballot box?
Do you know how many stupid people I know who work out? I mean, and here's the other deal. Biden is forever going bike riding. He rides his bike more than a bunch of people who are half his age. Again, these are the stupid litmus tests that we have when it comes to politicians. Oh, I want somebody who is young and vibrant, but can they get the job done? That's what it boils down to. Could they get the Inflation Reduction Act? Could they get the infrastructure bill done? Could they get the action done with HBCUs? That's what I care about. And so if you tell me I got somebody who's older who can get the job done versus somebody who's younger who can't get a job done, but they can show me lifting weights, give me a break. We understand the optics.
He makes good points, this guy.
Again, I say to anybody who is going to achieve the results, and if it comes to Biden and Trump, I don't care if Trump is 77, there's no way in hell that younger old person should be anywhere near the Oval Office after what he did on January 6th.
Well, listen, speaking of vibrant, you're looking vibrant and youthful in that orange. We got to leave it there, Mr. Martin.
I have to say that Roland Martin, the guy that they had on, he made a lot of interesting points. The main one being, you know, if it's not an age thing, perhaps it's, you know, the competency, you know, are they still able to do the job effectively? And, you know, that is true. There's no point having a young person in there who is just not good at what they do. But on the flip side, I do think in the case of Mitch McConnell in particular, you know, there's clearly something going on. If you can't, you know, address the media without like glitching out, you know, I think it's time to retire. Or what do you guys think? Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.